In the quietude of the British countryside, away from the flashbulbs and the sterile corridors of statecraft, there is a language spoken without words. It is found in the tilt of a head, the shared glance across a crowded room, or a hand resting, just a moment too long, on a sleeve. To the casual observer, it is a simple affection. To the historian, it is a tectonic shift. For years, we saw the Prince and Princess of Wales through the prism of duty. But today, the world is witnessing something we haven't seen in the House of Windsor for decades, a survival story disguised as a romance. The gesture we witnessed was not merely a romantic interlude, it was a declaration of strength after the storm. When the crown finally passes, it is often said that the weight of the gold is less than the weight of the silence that precedes it. In this new era, William and Catherine are filling that silence with a quiet, undeniable warmth. It is the beginning of what many are calling a second honeymoon era, but in the House of Windsor, nothing is ever that simple. To understand the significance of a smile in the present, one must understand the austerity of the past. The British monarchy has long been an institution built on the theology of the empty vessel. The sovereign and their heir were expected to be mirrors, reflecting the needs of the nation while concealing the beating heart beneath the ermine. Cast your mind back to 1947. A young Princess Elizabeth and Philip Mountbatten. There was love, certainly, but it was disciplined. It was a post-war love, stoic, sturdy, and strictly partitioned from the public gaze. When William and Catherine first emerged as a couple, they inherited this blueprint. They were the fixers. Their role was to restore the image of the stable nuclear family after the chaos of the 90s. For a decade, they performed this role with clinical perfection. They were the picture-perfect couple, synchronized, dutiful, and perhaps, to some, slightly impenetrable. They were the heirs to a legacy of restraint. But restraint, while a virtue in governance, can be a burden in a marriage. Every royal era has its geographic signature. For William and Catherine, the soul of their narrative is found in the Norfolk coast. There is a profound symbolism in the beach. It is a liminal space, the place where the solid earth of duty meets the fluid, unpredictable sea of emotion. In the iconography of royalty, the beach represents a stripping away. Gone are the medals and the tiaras. Here they are simply a man and a woman navigating the elements. The contrast is deliberate. In London, they represent the institution, the immovable object. In Norfolk, they represent the human, the kinetic force. This duality is the secret to their longevity. They have learned that to protect the crown, they must first protect the hearth. The second honeymoon is not a vacation from their lives. It is the fortification of their foundation. To be the Prince of Wales is to live in a state of permanent anticipation. For William, this inheritance came with a specific trauma, the memory of a house divided. He watched the dismantling of his parents' union under the relentless heat of public scrutiny. Consequently, his approach to his own marriage has been one of fierce, almost militant protection. Catherine, too, carries a unique weight. As the first woman from outside the traditional aristocracy to navigate this sphere with such grace, she faced the internal pressure of perfection, to never slip, to never falter, to always be the pillar. But pillars are prone to weathering. The recent health challenges faced by the princess have acted as a crucible. In the alchemy of crisis, the lead of duty has been transmuted into the gold of genuine, visible partnership. These moments are not choreographed PR stunts. They are the sighs of relief of two people who have realized that the crown is heavy and it is impossible to carry alone. The silence of spring. There was a moment, early in the year, when the palace went quiet. In that silence, a shift occurred. When Catherine finally reappeared, she did not return as the untouchable icon of fashion and poise. She returned as someone who had looked into the abyss and found her hand held by another. The turning point was the decision to share their vulnerability. By allowing the world to see the tenderness, the shared laughter in the grass, they broke a century-old royal taboo. They admitted that they are not just symbols, they are a family. This marks the end of the never complain, never explain era and the beginning of the era of authentic presence. 5. The architecture of a modern legacy. How does one preserve a legacy while altering its DNA? This is the central challenge. They have moved from the mysterious to the relatable without sacrificing the aspirational. The second honeymoon energy is a masterclass in modern soft power. It humanizes the future king. It suggests that the monarchy is not a cold machine, but a lineage sustained by love. By prioritizing their bond, they are signaling that the future is stable. A king who loves his queen is a king who is perceived as whole. This is the new currency of the realm, emotional intelligence. 6. The unspoken signals. If one looks closely, there is a pattern. Notice how William often positions himself slightly behind Catherine, a silent acknowledgement of her strength. Notice how she uses eye contact to ground him in moments of high tension. These are not the movements of a couple in their first flush of romance. These are the movements of a veteran unit. They have developed a shorthand, a series of micro-gestures that act as a tether. Their marriage has been tested by the fires of grief and illness and has emerged not just intact, but refined. 7. Philosophical reflection. Legacy is often thought of as stone monuments, but perhaps legacy is more like water. It takes the shape of the vessel it inhabits. The legacy William and Catherine are building is one of endurance. They are teaching us that identity is not lost in duty, it is found there. They are the architects of a new kind of royalty, one that understands that the heart must be protected if the crown is to be worn. 8. Closing reflection. As the sun sets over the Norfolk coast, the prince and princess walk on. They are heirs to 1,000 years of history, but in this moment, they are simply two people walking toward a shared horizon. The second honeymoon is not a fleeting season. It is a state of grace. It is a reminder that even in the most gilded of lives, the most powerful thing one can possess is not a kingdom, but a hand to hold in the dark. And in that quiet gesture, the future of the monarchy is written, not in ink, but in the enduring language of the heart. A legacy preserved, a love redefined. The journey continues.